Okay. Good morning, my dear students. How are you? I think you are very well and also doing well regarding your studies. So, already the topic is given here. Today I am going to talk about an important topic of English second paper. In English second paper, there are different items of English grammar, and one of these items is completing incomplete sentences. Though maybe in your SSC level you have you did this type of activities, but in your SSC syllabus also there is a topic regarding this, that is completing sentences, completing incomplete sentences. So whenever we complete an incomplete sentence, what do? First we will try to understand it, then we will understand some rules regarding completing incomplete sentences. And before going to talk about the rules, I would like to focus on some points why we should understand this type of topic. Why should we study completing incomplete sentences? Why? This is when we learn a language, there are 4 skills, speaking, reading, writing and listening. So completing incomplete sentences basically a part of writing skill. But why should we do this? That's very important, because if you don't understand its significance, you will have no interest in doing this. By completing incomplete sentences, that is by practicing this item of English grammar, we will in fact learn 3 things. Number 1, it will develop our writing skill, that is how one part is given of a sentence, and based on this very part, how you can develop the sentence. That is, how can you complete the sentence. Bear in mind the word completing. So this is an incomplete sentence. You have to complete it. In completing a sentence, you have to follow some rules. Anyway, first of all, this item of English grammar will help you develop your writing skill. Secondly, this item will test your grammatical rules, because whenever you complete a sentence, you have to follow some rules of grammar. If you don't follow these rules, you cannot complete the sentences correctly in a right way. Therefore, again, if you follow some grammatical rules, that will not be enough for you, because the sentence should be coherent. That is, the part given and the part you will write should match each other semantically, that is not only grammatically but also semantically. Semantically in the sense that when the 2 parts of a sentence will be matched, they will give a complete sense. If the sentence doesn't give a complete sense for the reader, maybe you have followed a correct grammatical rule, but still your sentence may not be correct, because if the sentence cannot produce a sense that is a complete meaning, it will not be a complete sentence. So whenever you write, that is when you complete a sentence, you have to at least bear in mind in 2 things, that whether the sentence is grammatically correct, or that is, first of all, if the sentence is grammatically correct or not, and the other thing is that though maybe this is grammatically correct, but it must give also a sense, a meaning. If it does not give a meaning, you will not get marks, because without meaning, that is a meaningless sentence is not sentence at all. So these are the 2 very important features of completing sentence. Again, okay, you have understood that your sentence must have a meaning, your sentence must follow some grammatical rules, and you are going to do this. What you will do first? In writing, we know, in two categories, in two systems, we know, sentences are divided in different kinds, you know. Based on meanings, that is semantically, or based on meanings, there are 5 kinds of sentences in English, you know. Assertive sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, optative sentence, and exclamatory sentence. So whenever you are completing a sentence, first you have to identify what kind of sentence you are going to write. That is, the sentence will be an assertive sentence, the sentence will be an imperative sentence, or the sentence will be an affirmative sentence, or the sentence will be optative sentence, or it will be an exclamatory sentence. So decide first what kind of sentence you are going to write. And based on structure, again, we know there are mainly 3 kinds of sentences in English: simple sentence, complex sentence, and complex sentence. So when you are going to do this, that is, when you are going to complete a sentence, the sentence may be either simple or complex or compound. If we see the sentence structurally, so structurally there can be the sentence may be a simple sentence, maybe a complex sentence, maybe a compound sentence. So you have to decide first how you are going to complete the sentence. So again, if this is based on a structure, we know. But if you see the sentence in the sense of meaning, then the sentence may be assertive, interrogative, or question. Or question. It may be imperative. It may be optative. It may be exclamatory. So what kind of sentences there may be? Structurally, it may be a simple sentence, complex sentence, or compound sentence, or semantically it may be assertive sentence, interrogative or question, imperative, optative, exclamatory. Okay, imagine the sentence, the incomplete sentence you are going to complete, maybe you think that the sentence you are going to complete will be a complex sentence. Imagine this. First of all, you have decided that you are going to write a complex sentence. Then what to do? What happens in writing? So the sentence you are going to write complete is a complex sentence. So you have decided it will be a complex sentence. If it is a complex sentence, then what are the main features of a complex sentence? Because if you don't know the main features of a complex sentence, you cannot complete it. So what happens in case of a complex sentence structurally? Often in question, one part is given, the other part should be written by the students. So in English, you know, there is no word like type part. What we call in English? Often in a complex sentence, you know, most of the students also know that a complex sentence consists of how many clauses? Do you have any ideas? Because if you don't understand the structure of a complex sentence, you cannot complete it. We know a complex sentence consists of two clauses. A complex sentence consists of at least two clauses. What are the two clauses? One is principal clause, the other is subordinate clause. So if in completing sentence, if the principal clause is given, often you need to write the subordinate clause, or if the subordinate clause is given, often you need to write the principal clause. So now the question comes in completing sentence, it's very important to know that what is a clause. So today I am not going to definitely talk about a particular grammatical rule. I am just focusing upon some things that you are very interested to understand, because completing sentence is not only important for this topic, because when you write a paragraph, you need to write a sentence. When you write an essay, you need to write sentences. So whenever you talk in English, you need to compose, you need to produce sentences. So making sentences is very important for you. So that is very important. I already mentioned that if you want to complete a sentence and you imagine that you are going to complete a complex sentence, then you should know the parts of complete sentences, complex sentences, that is what type of clauses are used in complex sentences. Therefore, now I come to the main point, that just I have focused upon what things you need to do in doing this. Now I am beginning from the very first point that you have to understand, that whenever you practice this item of English grammar, first you have to know the structure of sentences. If you want to know the structures of sentences, first you should know how a sentence is composed. What is a sentence? How a sentence is composed. That is, therefore I am beginning from the first point, that is, what is a sentence, then how different kinds of sentences are produced, and how incomplete sentences are produced, we will talk about later. Let's begin. The earlier talkings were the preface to my main points. Now come to the main points. We'll know the basic structure of sentences and how sentences are produced in English. What is a sentence? First try to understand. What is a sentence? Do you have any ideas? Okay. We know in human speech, that is in language, because non-human animals, that is, except human beings, other animals have some communication system, but they have no language. In fact, most of the linguists think so. Anyway, so sentence is a part of human language. But whenever we start talking, that is, whenever we start producing a language, what do? First we make sounds. Sounds means words, in another word. In normal sense we can say sounds or words. What is a word? A word is nothing but a few letters. So a few letters create a word. A few letters, for example, man. How many letters? M-A-N, man. 3 letters create a single word, man. 3 letters. Then we know man is mortal. If I write, do you think this is a complete sentence? Yes, this is a complete sentence. Man is mortal. So how many words have been used here? Man, 1, is 2, mortal, 3. So 3 words. So 3 letters make 1 word man. 3 words man is mortal make a sentence. So when a group of sentences together give a sense, we call it a sentence. And there is, we know, 3 words. Do you think 3 words are enough for making a sentence? No. For example, table, pen, chair. How many words are here? 3 words. Table, pen, chair. But these 3 words do not make a sentence. But here 3 words, man is mortal, make a sentence. What is the difference? Here also 3 words, and also here we say 3 words. So having words are not enough. That is, if you have some words, it's not enough. To be a complete sentence, another thing is very important, that is meaning. So when a group of words sitting together give a sense or give a meaning, we call it a sentence. So you have got some ideas about writing sentences. That is what is a sentence? Definition of a sentence. What is the normal structure of writing a sentence? I have already written man is mortal, or we eat rice. So what do we write? Structurally, the man is a word, mortal is a word, we is a word, eat is a word, nice is a word. But in English grammar, every word according to their position and function has a name, grammatical name. Man is man, no doubt, and this is a word, no doubt, is a word, no doubt, mortal is a word, no doubt. But in English grammar, according to their function and position, they have particular names, specific name, that is technical terms, you know. And man is called subject, you know, and every student knows it. Is verb, and mortal is complement. We subject, eat verb, rice object. So look at this, I have written complement and I have written object. There is slight difference between complement object. Today I am not going to talk about this. So what is the normal structure of writing a sentence? What happens in writing a sentence, you see, that is, we write at the beginning a subject, then we write a verb. In an assertive sentence, normally a declarative sentence, man subject, is verb, mortal is the complement. Now here we is the subject, it is the verb, rice is object. So what would be the structure if we draw a structure of the sentence? It will be subject plus verb plus complement or object. So we can draw a structure of this sentence, that is subject, verb, complement or object. This is the basic structure of English sentences. But it's not enough for you. Now the question comes, what is the subject, what is verb and what is object? I am not talking about this because there are other items of English grammar that we will talk about. Only we should know that subject is the doer, the agent, the person who does things, or so when an action, every sentence has an that is, whenever we write a sentence, normally we have a verb, and when there is a verb, it either refers to an action or a state of being. That's it. So look at this, man is mortal. We eat rice. In the second sentence, verb is eat. Who is eat is a word, action word, because it refers to an action, that is eating. And there is the verb eat, and it means that there is someone who eats. So here the subject we is the person, that is we is the agent of doing the action. Who eat? We. So the person who does the action is the subject. That's why it is called agent of the verb, or the doer of the verb. Who eats? We. Who is the doer of the verb, and in English grammar we call it subject. And this we know it is verb. Then rice. What do we eat? That is eat. We eat rice. What do we eat? Rice. Rice is the object. This is the simple structure. And here is called a verb, but it refers to the state of being, that is condition of something. Man is mortal. Here no action, just the state of being, that is cessation of human being, is mentioned here. And this is also verb, and this is called stating verb, verb of state of being, or state verb, some people also call this. So any maybe a different kind of verb, it is a verb. So subject, verb, complement, subject, verb, object. So this is the simple structure, normal structure of a sentence. And if a sentence is written following this structure, we call it simple sentence. Again, there is a term, I have mentioned that a few words create a sentence. When these few words give a sense, the question is that, and this is a simple structure of a sentence. There is a term I have already mentioned, that clause. Then what is a clause? We know, along with simple sentences, if a sentence is produced based on the simple structure, we call it simple sentence. But in English grammar, there is not only simple sentences, but also other kinds of sentence, that is complex sentence, compound sentence, and there is also complex compound sentence, that is this higher level discussion. Primarily understand simple, complex, compound, okay. But whenever the question comes, what is a complex sentence, what is a compound sentence, then you have to understand what is a clause. Then what is a clause? We have understood the sentence, but what is a clause? In English grammar, all simple sentences are clauses, because the structure of a clause and the structure of simple sentences are the same. But all kinds of clauses are not simple sentences. All simple sentences are clauses, but all kinds of clauses are not simple sentences. Then what is a clause? In English grammar, a clause is, or a clause consists of a subject, finite verb. subject and finite verb. If there is a subject and there is a finite verb, we can call it a clause. So, man is mortal, here there is a subject and there is a verb. This is a clause, we eat rice, subject, verb, this is also a clause. But I have already mentioned all simple sentences are clauses, but all clauses are not simple sentences. So, in English, primarily there are three kinds of clauses you have to understand, because if you don't understand these three kinds of clauses, you will not understand different kinds of sentences, and you cannot compose different kinds of sentences, because whenever you want to write sentences, you should have complete sense of creating clauses, because when you unite different kinds of clauses, you can create different kinds of sentences. So what are the different kinds of clauses? Number one, principal clause. Number two, subordinate. Subordinate clause. Then coordinate. So we have understood what is a sentence, then we are going to understand what is a clause and what are the kinds of different clauses. There are three kinds of clauses mainly in English grammar, that is principal clause, subordinate clause, coordinate clause. So my dear students, you have understood. Next we will have complete explanations of different kinds of clauses and how they are developed, and how arranging different sentences and different kinds of clauses we can produce different kinds of sentences. We will understand. We will try to understand these different kinds of clauses next day. So before ending, I like to recap what we have understood today. So first we have tried to understand what the item, grammatical item in English second paper, that is completing incomplete sentences. Then we have tried to understand what are the different kinds of sentences and what are they. For example, semantically there are 5 kinds of sentences in English: assertive, interrogative or question, imperative, optative, exclamatory. Based on a structure, there are 3 kinds of sentences in English, that is simple, complex and compound. Then we have come to the main point, that is before going to doing this, we have to know what a sentence is. That is, we have understood the definition of sentence, structure of a basic sentence. Then we have also tried to understand what a clause is, then different kinds of clauses. And next we will have broad discussion regarding different kinds of clauses and how these clauses can be used for making sentences, that is doing or practice completing incomplete sentences. Thank you very much. Best of luck. Hope to meet you again.